Today na the 8th day of September 2021. The one them way they na certain ministries them this time around. They say they in a happy mode. Some administration then they in a happy mode right now. But we Sierra Leoneans them supposedly for be happy right now. But oh yeah, now that we want lay na table. Because today the president being launched just a little over $156 million. Well, almost $157 million. The word how they use and how they use and for you so we don't know the actual amount. No more it is between 156 to 157. Eh? Okay. This money now the new global fund grant. Grant means say it no cost we nothing. But what in this grant dey for? For strengthening we healthcare system. It don't say kindena we dey talk about we healthcare system. Yes, no can remind me say wait to with that $6 million who send for go buy UNICEF for go buy for we. Me no care it, no come market it. But this now 156 almost $57 million for strengthening we healthcare system, for boost COVID-19 response, for help in the fight against HIV and AIDS, and also the fight against malaria. All side get in. They don't allocate how the money for be spent. But $156 million not to play money. You don't tell the talk now say if na cannot no more save the one main one na return. How much you feel say then go spend per am for make cannot go be le cow them pumui them. It be then at the mind of them be open and ready. And all the district headquarter towns them, the major hospitals them, where did it? How much it go take? Eh? Without any corrupt practice. Without any corrupt practice. Because if something cost 1 Leone in the system, it get for cost like 3 Leones. Because all man get for getting your own cut. But if to say now for really for serve the people, how much you think say we need? But anyway, today na status, the president don't launch this 156 million. Eh? Like as I be tell you just now, say na for make we healthcare strong na salon and for control malaria, tuberculosis, HIV and AIDS, and also the Delta variant of the COVID-19 na the country. Small bits about the Global Fund. The Global Fund are partnership we designed for accelerate the end of AIDS. I mean HIV and tuberculosis and malaria, as they want to they categorize them as a pandemic. Inside 2002, now in them be try for say, you know what, we need this kind of a fund. We go support programs them when a local experts. We mean to say they're not going for send people and come out from the west to for camp. No, now we own local experts there. Now then go use. But the local experts in there, they get for include the government, the civil society, technical agencies, private sector, and other people them where this disease they ambog. So 2000 that ain't be 2002. I just give small updates about the Global Fund. So 2004, the Global Fund be don't invest 347.3 million dollars na salon since 2004 to date. $347 million. But yeah, look with healthcare system. Look we fight against malaria. TB. They are look the fight to get for we own common sickness then within a salon. You ever see like say this for 2004? You feel say this kind of money don't showcase? Today the president be the talk. He be get for tell thank you to the executive director when a Peter Sands. But himself be the talk. Himself be get for tell back the president thank you. He say because the president don't show stronger leadership at the fight against COVID-19. And he say the president in commitment for make himself. I tell you say this global funding I put for me, I put for you. So salon self get them part with in the play day. Now like osusu. And then the simple way for put her. Now like osusu. What you take, you still get for give, so the next man self go able for take. So Peter Sands way now the executive director, he began for tell thank you to President Bio for the fight against COVID-19. And he say the president they show commitment in being co-funding. Now be say we salon the money we self get for they put in the fight against malaria. All these things we don't talk about. He also said the Ministry of Health and Sanitation and also CRS, one of the Catholic Relief Services. Now the two main recipients where they work alongside sub-recipients for rollout the 2021 to 2024 program. So this money, 2021, I think it don't begin from July, if I remember fine, if you listen. But the president will come play within the presidency. Till 2024. But where Peter Sands, when the executive director, will be the talk, he said inside 2004, Salon B received the first global fund grant, and since that time, the country don't continue for benefit boku one from the fund. In a way and manner, where then the fight against all the HIV, the tuberculosis, malaria, and all these things. He say significant results don't be achieved through the global fund in Sierra Leone. And then that's true. Because if you give money, what you go say? So he say significant results don't be achieved on waiting on the fight against TB in a salon, the fight against malaria. I want to send Peter Sands let go check now your hospital them. The only sick who then be diagnosed right now in a salon, na malaria and typhoid. Anyway, he say the big target now for make the implication where the money they go for the people of Sierra Leone go able forget them and for able build a prosperous future for the country. The minister, Dr. Austin Demby, himself be talk. He say today where this money accounts on a special day where the relationship between the government of Sierra Leone and the global funds for help fet the thing then with this money for fet. He say in ministry determined for intensify the surveillance and the epidemiology effort for better for make we understand the kind AB thing where HIV infectious gets in the country and for reduce the stigma and for intensify the effort towards attaining 95% of the goal for control HIV inside salon. We can't play waiting the president in say. Because the president in say, in spite of the disruption where COVID-19 knock out in us alone, he said he believes say he able to get back on track. Let me not talk for him. I need for bring the president come inside. Making can talk for we. I now invite you for listen to the president of Sierra Leone. As this morning, it be the launch the 156, no, 57, no, it not reach small. It is in between $1 million. Global fund, grant, free money. Let we listen now.
Chairman, Ministers of Government, Honorable Members of Parliament, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, the Executive of Global Fund, members of the Country Coordinating Committee of the Global Fund in Sierra Leone, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Indeed, it's a pleasure to be here today. I will start off today's remark by thanking our great friend, Peter Sands. Thank you, Peter, for following up on our conversations and commitment, and for making our shared vision a reality today. It is a real pleasure seeing you and hearing from you again. Before then, I have met the Global Fund West Africa Regional Manager, Mr. Nicholas Cantau, the Global Fund Portfolio Manager for Sierra Leone, then Leone, and the Chairman of the Country Coordinating Mechanism for Sierra Leone, CCMSL, Alhaji Bello Jallo. Along with the cross-section of CCMSL members and the Minister of Health, we discussed strategies to step up the fight against malaria, tuberculosis, and HIV, and how to build a strong healthcare system in this country. So I want to start off this short address by thanking the Global Fund for being a critical partner in Sierra Leone's health sector. They have contributed a very significant share of healthcare financing. Their support constitutes about 90% of the HIV program budget and over 70% for the TB and malaria programs. We have argued throughout that our socio-economic indicators will be depressing and our national development will be limited if we do not have a healthy population and a well-resourced and functioning national healthcare delivery system. We have made some progress in health governance, expanding and improving healthcare, disease prevention, control and surveillance, and healthcare service delivery. But we have a long way to go. But the leadership of the Ministry of Health and Sanitation has some exciting ideas and concrete plans, and we are going to see how that is going to pan out. There's a lot of cause for optimism, therefore, counting on what we know at the moment. We also have made progress on the goals we set out for health financing. We have increased budgetary allocation to health and sanitation and made progress on implementing the National Health Insurance Scheme. In spite of disruptions occasioned by COVID-19, we believe it is possible to get back on track in our fight against the burden of HIV/AIDS, TB, and malaria. But getting back on track requires significant resource mobilization. That is why my government has been working hard to establish strong partnerships with reputable institutional and donor partners around the world. And one such partner is the Global Fund. For us, the Global Fund has been the largest investor in grants to build resilience and sustainable health system in our country. Your investment in tools, systems, health workers, lab resources are underpinning our COVID-19 responses and responses to other disease burdens in our country. Be assured that Sierra Leone will continue to be a strong ally in all high-level advocacy campaigns for strengthening health systems. We also recognize the fight against malaria, TB, AIDS, and COVID-19 cannot be adequately handled by any one ministry or agency. It is a fight that calls for multi-sectorial and multi-dimensional approach. I therefore urge all government ministries, departments, and agencies to work closely with the Ministry of Health and Sanitation and NACOVAC to develop effective strategies to achieve the desired results. I call on our international, national partners, donors, to continue to provide their technical and financial support to help us win the fight. It is possible, it is achievable. But such partnerships thrive as a result of trust and confidence born on transparency and accountability. In line with our national campaign against corruption that has seen the control of corruption score move from 47% to 81% over the last 3 years, we wish to assure our partners, especially the Global Fund, that we will work assiduously to strengthen management, monitoring, and implementation of all resources provided. In view of our reimbursement to the Global Fund for funds declared as ineligible during the tenure of the past government, I wish to assure Global Fund that the negotiated commitment plan to pay an initial 40% in 2021 has been authorized and will be strictly adhered to. I also want to publicly commit that the full amount will be paid shortly. I thank Global Fund and other partners for the confidence reposed in our government, and rest assured that we will always be trustworthy partners. At this juncture, I wish to share the great news with Sierra Leoneans. The Global Fund has approved the new funding Model 3 amount of just a little over 125 million United States dollars. That is for the fight against malaria, TB, HIV/AIDS, and to strengthen health systems in Sierra Leone for the period retroactive 1st July 2021 to 30th July 2024. This is a grant. Thank you, Global Fund. I'm also pleased to further inform that the government of Sierra Leone has committed additional funding of 9,465,377 United States dollars as counterpart funding for the fight against HIV/AIDS, TB, malaria, and health system strengthening for the period spanning financial year 2021-2024. That is not all. The Global Fund, in collaboration with other partners, have also approved COVID-19 funding of $31 million just a little over 31 million United States dollars to support, to respond and to mitigate the effect of COVID-19 on the progress made in the fight against 3 diseases in Sierra Leone for the period retroactive 1st July 2021 to 31st December 2023. The Ministry of Health and Sanitation and the Catholic Relief Service have been appointed as the principal recipients to administer these funds. They will identify and work with sub-recipients and other in-country partners, including community-based organizations, etc. These principal recipients will also work with Central Coordinating Unit, NACOVAC, for the implementation of the COVID-19 funds. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude by thanking the Global Fund and all other partners that have contributed to the amount that has been granted to Sierra Leone. I also want to extend my thanks to CCMSL, in-country partners, Ministry of Health and Sanitation, government line ministries and departments, multilateral and bilateral partners, consultants, and beneficiaries who fully participated in developing the proposal for the approval of these funds. For us,
They only left the president. You know, always he don't say. Money don't come. But this money, yeah. Papa God. I don't know if you see waiting at the sea. $125 million. Okay, a little over $125 million. Eh? Now one day, now I go for strengthening the healthcare and all this other thing, the HIV, all that thing in there. Now you get $31 million where in they go for COVID. But issue being there will be unresolved between Sierra Leone and global funding. We Salon pledge say we go pay back 40%. Now, global funding, they can give a grant of 125 million. Now the president they tell global funding say, oh, they pay on a GGs now. Eh? And this na grant too. If even you go lend safe, if even you go take outside and put and you know see all that money they carry, they can't full up yonder. But again, not to this administration be do that deal. That be the previous administration. But they why can now then try for can clear the books so they still get for pay that money day. But in all, we subscribe get $9.4 million. We for put inside. We supposed for put inside this money back. As co-funding. Something we global funding then first check cam. We will learn today for Susena we own this. Triple A left. You want to tell me say Salon get $9 million? We get tired. Get some better one. Presidents don't open the floor. You don't talk to all the ministries them for work alongside the Ministry of Health and Sanitation. Because this particular project now for Ministry of Health and Sanitation and CRS, at the hand they don't put her. Catholic Relief. The president say, then go work assiduously. Then go work any kind way for proof say, then they're not corrupt. They're not corrupt at all. He say, what you make if you say global fund the kind of this now because of the fight against corruption. The kind of they know they do it transparently. Not to me talk now. Waiting the president talk now. Just want break down for you. Eh? Oh, Salon. I be asked a question just now. Now, Yusuf there, you're the president's outline. If we spend this money wisely, you know think say we go get massive changes inside we healthcare system na Salon? You know feel so? If the money go exactly what you for go for, you don't think so we go get her? Me, I feel so. But anyway, make out us friend, make we hear waiting in get for we today on this particular one. Welcome on board us friend. You get the platform, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chikule, for giving me the platform. And thanks to all listeners and viewers. And also we talk about the health, good health in a salon. And the topic and for safer and equitable future, we try for look about all man get an equal right to health. And we don't get funds that they come, that they misplace them, especially this global fund we know. And I think in another one day in the president, they try for reassure them. So they try for tell them, see, a kind of an acid test, a litmus test for know if they are going to be different. And therefore see they are different from the corrupt practice where global fund being forget when they involve the inspector general. That was between 2016 and so on. But then when they not being for go well, but initially global fund of itself, I know say na fund what they can get for help poor people, and that is one thing. But then they always help with the less privileged. The unfortunate thing number way it always they go on. Now the area wherein the growing level of that unmet needs, it on the boku growing level, they grow every stage until then get for stop and get for investigate all some people and the money, put a website where if you complain then with a global fund. But the government now they try for reassure we say if they undergo the acid litmus test, then go pass them. So then they reassure say they don't be like way the other one they've been there. So obviously they don't even try for clear debt to be there or so on an agreement with them for pay towards. But all come to side they not being get a joint approach of everything, and you talk about transparency. But if them we don't give them money, then we don't spoil, and then the global fund. Now people who then they get money not to for just because they get them. Now people money then they collect and then get different way they raise money. And I feel then get one slogan where they talk about replenishment that then they try for maintenance. And then can do and it's in 3 cycles when they get their money. They get their fund from public funds, donor, government, and even some private people and they give public sector. All those money are coming and collector. Then start on 2002 and they go help we. And they go help people and we get problem. But their money they are now, if I now say when they can bring them, then they try to give them based on say watching Unayon economic status day. And based on the burden of a particular disease. So then they use advocates them, like the CSO them, like different countries, for let them go appeal for them, or say let them go donate money to their own fund, where for malaria, AIDS, and together with HIV and together with this COVID, we don't come up now. So then they put money to them things there. So I'm when they find side, who then they assess, then get a model, who then they do. When that model for CC on our economy and the burden of that sickness, if the sickness is boku, then they help on a TB boku day, so then come. But the point what they try for bring here is that when they bring their funds here, but can question them back again, small, slightly, then what they bring them. They try for gather money through like for say we now the source for go gather with the big phone now. When I get advocacy, they don't advocate. They don't know, say, this thing is serious on a country where they can't give them the money. Because you see the funds and they can get side with the pledge. And then get the pledges and then get the funds where they can come inside. But when the funds and they can now, how they go able for manage them for say, would they put them in terms of procurement because at the area around the way they lost boku money, we be careful cause them for go at the website, they involve the inspector general for let go investigate. But why they not go try for understand say if we don't deny from a certain time of years, we no go know what are the principles they will follow. So the people then go get what they need. Because now for that would they go beg for them. If they find out say there is a middleman, where would they feel say will not trust that down? Would they go involve the inspector general and would they go put a website where anybody can go complain? How would you see this money soon now? If you go on the website, you go see the sign for complaint. But the question is are no complaints taken sometimes? We know about the auditor general who been wanting this, have been therefore involved in one of the things. It audits them. It means they help them for audit something when are fraud. But we don't know the outcome of that one day, when are presently again. But if you see they don't bring money, that is good. We accept it. So going forward from there, we know say these funds that we don't come actually for certain things. But government at some point, like HIV, they're not going to do any subvention again. They're not going to help them because we see them on the media about less than a year ago when they launched the HIV thing, where they asked the government for help them in terms of the retroviral drugs. Because the retroviral drug name they use for help now for letting them go treat the HIV. People them they undergo treatment. But the funds in it, they can't less. So people are not being capacitated. You get the hospital, the malaria, they bring nets. But the nets in a true World Bank. They nets there, they say they use. They give them everyone. So you find out say they give back, they say, okay, the malaria treatment will be free. So then go treat that one and they so they do that one day, but the subvention we government they give now, it not be they meet up again. So that's the what thing be don't give in terms of the time when they first don't give, it not be carried. So they find out now when they do procurement, we go for find out the right route. So I even wonder some of this money where they can if they come in the form of cash or if they come in the form of materials. Because now HIV they try for treat for help. Now retroviral drugs and be need. And the capacitation of labs and other things. Then you talk of the malaria and nets and the treatment who they want free. Then the people who they do and they capacitate them. So now for the government they capacitate the one day who they do the service and then they bring kind of things. But sometimes it's complicated with funds, grants, and how we will get significant achievements. And that significant achievement, not only when we get a single approach, what then they do. When they say health, because health global fund they help. Then they help travel students who don't go learn some anesthetic in that place who are or during. Then don't even help for build the students' apartments within that school of nursing. Then they do infrastructural development so that things are able to expand for the health. So it's up to the strategy what we go right. Because even at the website you go, you see how they say application. You they apply, but you get forget the criteria. And then on criteria, now where una get sick, where boku na una country, particularly sick like TB, boku, when not able for deal with and based into the economy, then they assess, then take small fund, then give una. But some of these funds, like the question itself, say, are they really reflecting on the health of the people that we want for let go able for push before? Let go say they're sustainable. Let go talk say, okay, then look at healthier life. They look safe from this particular disease. That is the question sometimes they ask. Because when you treat malaria, you get a lot. Then they say about malaria, they don't do them recently when I World Malaria Day. You talk about the area of breeding of the malaria parasites. You get to try control that one day. What is that involved? That means inside place water they try for clear them. So mosquitoes not go able for gather day. You try for let you go get rid of the vector where they call this malaria. So all that thing in the you get forget a joint approach where they involve the one that we know that I say then get people who they don't give, the one that want the applications they don't give and people away involved, those are principally recipients them. Now one they want a community-based organization. But when you listen that side, when you say community-based organization, straight away was an exetra. And the next one after that punctuation was NACOVAC. So I don't know if they try to tell we say, well, the community-based, the exetra, we don't know which one is the exetra, and then the next one will be NACOVAC. So are they going to parties to NACOVAC? And when you're looking at NACOVAC,
who is making up, whether they make up of knockover. You get the presidential task force, you get the knockover task force. So you don't know. You don't know if that's so they want for diverter. Because usually the influence people in the use when a good one. Because we know see the minister who don't care now, instead we get international relations. So it go don't gear up things. We see how they try for bring up ideas or they try for using influence, which is quite good. But the point is, are they doing this in a single joint approach? Then they involve the single up of services, where they go instead of them they separate them, they will get them for all for able for match go forward. So that when they see them, they go attack something, then go say, well, we don't get testing them, we get the HIV, we get what they call us, the coronavirus, we don't get now the PCR machine. So what you get for do the balance they will not be don't put up it. Now we try to put them up. Now we even put one at the airport. So it will help we for make like now we just they take swab, then get for bring and a free talk. So that's part of it. We will build like infrastructure. And then what thing they go think of now? We will begin to think of other things they will try for toxic. They pass to go Ghana. What now that thing they wouldn't they call when they track the virus, they do that test they inside your own country so that you go able to know the genomics. That's the right word, the genomics. You know, when they talk because they even give you this sanction when they do it as a red list. We get forget that genomics. We don't get one lab when they try for repair, but now pass to go get reagent. So you beef up that area, but I don't know if they have those plans. Or they just go say, okay, no, we'll about Gina cover, then go help for advertise, which is good. Or then they go do this, or then buy vehicles, and then move about for one of the provinces. Then they try to sensitize things, then do further research, so they develop, and try look how they go come for that Connaught hospital, where they go able to try revamp them, so that they go like explain the people, because it's the way you write your story. Just like they say, when they come to you, then they do two criteria. They do the criteria for say when we are sick boku, then when I come minority, they give you money. Then finally, we call what they call the performance-based function. The performance-based function, and then they do now before they begin disburse the money by half to now. Because 93 and likely will give this finance. Either it be in form of a material or money. So when you see that one, the owner say, when I go see which of the right to application say, if it cannot clean, if the other hospital then clean, people then will come, we then will get place for treatment, except for malaria. If we go back to the street, they will try to clear the water irrigation, without they concern body in the local side, we clean them. They know, because they've been involved in this. CRS involved in this. You get other people that are involved in this. You get another one who call it the mama pikin. Then they can't they help. Then get areas where they go. You involve those things and they feel the pinch directly. People who get clinics and more than get like that some rural clinic that they go. They try for sensitize and say like this. Because you know when they turn around, you will find out that the health they don't develop. People like say they're not going to even say we're not going to use them, but they're not going to say we're not just for you. We're not saying we're going to make a strategy. So when I go and based on a local structure, best say would they go make a place where people then go able to get clean water. The one that go stop until typhoid. We will make all this kind of. So these are the things. You know, we just say, well, in Ghana, we'll get back CRS, we'll go do the same thing we'll be done the day. Where you go find out, see, that won't even progress. Because obviously, sorry about that. So obviously, you will find out, see, development, they come, big one. So they come in the form of some people for receive. But when they try for transformer now, wherein the people and therefore feel the effect, then several bingo get this money out. But again, you find out, see, now organization they form for let them go collect money, when they go give people what they need, and then get advocacy them. That money now, how they go do them? They don't want that thing they close. They must get people that they get for give. Because when you find out what did I just give inside 2020, $44.9 billion. Now in the global fund don't give worldwide based on what they don't do. Then do 21.9 million of antiviral treatment inside 2020, 4.9 million people there for TB, then a global. So they get the numbers there. They get the one they would have for mosquito net distribution, what they do inside 2020. And then mosquito nets, and the one they do and they try for treat them with a kind of an insecticide. But the idea is kill the vector. Like them beyond they try for do this thing, I can always say years back, whenever they try for spray the rokel and they go around the sewer for try get rid of both them rats what it cause the rat will cause that kind of infection, and then you will get back the mosquito. So then try kill the vectors, because now some other countries they overcome the vector of the malaria who they able to come zero. But if you always they get nets, you they get the treatment, you they get a point where in the treatment they become resistant. If you find out between 30 years back to 50, the malaria treatment, the malaria it will become resistant to chloroquine. So then therefore change them out to articulate with some other things then. Because even the chloroquine may affect people that left and for others sick. So you will find out all those kind of things in the move. And for that, they say the other ideas in the come inside, una receive them, una necessary, una convert this for the development and the health of the people. Not to just for say we get an absence of the way we will circulate the money fine. There should be an absence of fraud. That's circuit of fraud lying there for day come out. So then we get the availability of the circuit wherein you will get the certainty where people then will get forget now say there is certainty in this. Then even you the leader, get problem for they say I can't say this because tomorrow you don't know whether they dispose this for go give the work. If you don't go do the same thing or you don't go even deliver them. So you see, they always put you on uncertainty, you the leader, and then the recipient is also uncertain because sometimes you will come on through. So they bring unrest, they bring things and development or they go before. So I only hope say, in a nutshell, what in them bring so then we're able to look the area there outside then we don't get, una develop and more. HIV, una no say that retroviral thing they need. They don't tell una. TB, then no say, they give una the treatment. So una get for try to give this treatment the way it's supposed to be. But all this, it come to an area where they will get leaders them. So the basic help them when them people that don't come inside our country for can do all this development. You go find out, say, the approach, and then when they come, they get their own good ideas. When they say, we don't get the good ideas to can help the poor people, which is quite good. But remember again, they are giving it based, say, they don't want the organization close because they are all employed under that. So it's just like organizing. But sometimes we know they cry them down because people are thinking to be generous. People, they give them money, even taxpayer money, they come where they go. So, but the idea is when we receive this money also, we'll try locate them with the expert, they will know see the expert for do this health business because cannot it is in deplorable condition. Even the MRI, he did it. That MRI been did it. I know we say now about that MRI where they say medicals being get for me, but that one is another case for itself. But then get something where for go try and look into that corner. Are these things fit for purpose or we repair again? Or we will try now we sell them at a discount to the people who will recycle or get money back. But we know they say all that in our promises that they bring, where sometimes they are ongoing, but sometimes the uncertainty it comes from the people in mind, where they're not able to access the help what they need, waiting they get for go get. So then we're able to say, well, we don't get this treatment here. They talk of fraud every time. They talk of drugs are missing. They talk about the duty of the nurses. They say they get no responsibility. But again, sometimes you will say the government get for create again that environment they were in. But again, they blame both parties. But again, in terms of delivering, when they don't get the source of delivery, you will find out if they can't deliver the things and the way they for be, there are certain areas there, then get monitoring because they try for saying they get data system, and they try for saying a monitoring system. These are all the things they wouldn't get for advance, especially in the health and the way the revenue they come. When the revenue they come to the government, the main revenue, like the national NRE, that one has to be transparent. And then the health sector, when they distribute to the health, that's another area back we don't get for no say. Now the main area this in terms of taxation, but good things about health. Now the main thing we talk about, and the fund we don't come, we know say global fund are doing very well, but it is up to our leaders for look to the things they are all I don't mention, say they not for go duplicate things again. Then just get for look who say, then get for reimburse the health. Then they know society subvention they give them and on time. And then we get for involve people that will get for go to the community, will get for make the people and then get for know who that don't get this thing where they don't actually deliver in the way we're supposed to get. How you do it is quite simple because you are monitoring the system. You get a single joint service where you follow, not to section, and where in the section they now the side one at the political sector, when at the fiscal sector now one for interfere because then go say, well, we interfere because we say we don't get what we don't give, or no, not give this, not hold this for use this. But I only hope global fund until they don't street small, then they try for no side loopholes and they will follow these loopholes alongside how this distribution they go so that the one day when they give them, because at the end of the day, then get forgive what are the effective result, what are the thing, what are this outcome they do. Then get forgive effective result of waiting they don't do. And I report that one to the final one. They assess una, then do their own evaluation, then give una, and then they get forget that effective result what they need from una and how waiting they give una when they do. And based on the one, as soon as they add for una back. So our country will go before. And thank you very much for giving me the platform. And I only hope say then we're able for look into them things they already suggest sometimes. Then we'll know them. We'll know if that they plan. But if they say no more like how they put us straight so they don't say if they like that we then talk about community-based organization. We don't know who some that community they even they name CRS, but we don't know if they go able from it. They might say, oh, then why na Catholic something, then belong they get their own projects, let we just do other things, then draw candy. And those people are not political, they're not one for sitting at the picture, they're only helping. They all them don't need different for long that country, CRS, all those things in the cow project. So they no go try for say, well, we call CRS because they are Catholics. So when they call them and go say, well, we don't give it. So all those things. We not say this is the idea, but because of the uncertainty, what we don't get for years, that a day we mind they go until we see it come to reality. So many people are not say, oh, good count and oppose. That is not that the uncertainty that make we always talk so because the thing we don't see, we are not certain yet until we see a thing being delivered in a tangible way. Thank you very much. Let God continue for help with. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Usman.
Most welcome, sir.
Yes, sir. A total of 156, almost $57 million. Now, don't come for Sierra Leone. 125, almost 126. We don't know the amount. So we can't just say 125. That would not cheat to itself. Or we can't say 126. That would not lie. How they talk and so they talk. But if really, now for beef up with healthcare system in Sierra Leone, you know things say from now to the end of 2023 because then the project for run for, we supposed to see changes because the $31 million in the go towards the fight against COVID. And I don't see it. Yes, I don't hear outside the government of Sierra Leone say then go buy vaccine. But I don't see it outside the government tell we say the vaccine we then buy na in cancel. All the vaccine where they come right now na salon, na give them the giwi. Na give them the giwi. So you will say, oh, we have to buy vaccine. There are certain other things then where they help for fight against COVID na salon. Not to where they write the budget, not to where they write the agenda, not to where they write the menu. The $31 million. It is for the handy. But for help with healthcare system, then they will all go up more today. We all go up more today. Because we no go sit down. I wish them be done outline, like how they outline like for the COVID, you know, and even Sierra Leone and funding money where they get for people and 9 million and some change. I wish them be done outline like for the help for build up the healthcare system. Then tell we Amos they pay this money. That's in the we will know which they look at. We go know it who they look at. But we suppose for see a significant change in our healthcare system. Because we get a system now where even though you know see these things are not there, but they cannot say it. $125 and change $1 million. Connaught Hospital. How many times we not done the talk now about Connaught Hospital? Cottage Hospital. Under 5. Then we go at the district headquarter towns them. I want to make I look for them people here in YouTube channel. There is a YouTube channel of a missionary we go salon. Mindful missionary. Mindful missionary. This na bo we dey talk about. I be talking here the last time. Bo Government Hospital. This man sick with malaria. They not able to diagnose him. Na bo. And you know say malaria need to with white man. The man be done dey at the peak for loss in life before they encounter an African. Okay? Then they done. He gets in almost 2 years of age picking. We come up with fever. And go na Bo Government Hospital back. The same feel say maybe things go don't change. He carrying almost 2 years of age picking. It's sad. Where they talk, he say if one thing we go make them move come on salon. Na the healthcare. The healthcare system na salon, na go make them move come out. If they get for consider say for come on salon, na the healthcare system na salon. In Peking come up with fever, then go hospital, na Bo Government Hospital. He say then give them, he showed the different medication the way they give them. Like the hospital cannot pinpoint waiting at the beginning sick. So then give different medication. Also we go work no more. But you know say where we don't care, we say self now with the question each medication. Like me, I be go hospital na salon. Yeah? What will be in Sabit ready? When they write and say you're not able to understand them. Pass na the pharmacist, na no more go able to understand. Will be small. I don't know if na so is still the happen no. Na no more able to understand. Then say can't go to the pharmacy no more. And the man no more able to understand the doctor in writing. So even the doctor, now they explain to you waiting at the side effect of medication. Now they ask you no. Now for just waiting, we see the right then give them say go buy. One thing where this guy pinpoints my video is say it's easy to get any kind of medication in Sierra Leone without prescription. That is true. So if we want for build with healthcare system, if we want for beef up with healthcare system, with part of this money, maybe some of who will talk, and they find one way for sideline them. Now for una go listen to people away this alone, we no get no political connection. Where they tell you say if info move come on salon, now because of our healthcare system. Because in sick, he almost lost his life, then in a one, then now in Peking sick, he go hospital, then the hospital, now different medication, like say, he do trial and error. And it's about government hospital. All of a sudden, I then pharmacy themselves. So even the district headquarter town, the main hospitals, the way did it, what you can talk for them? Who's can boast to go boast for them? Say yes, indeed. Then they provide the service for we people them. Me, I don't go salon. I don't feel sick. I change my ticket. I come out today. It's supposed to be so. No. President don't tell we say we can forget a world-class diagnostic center. With the money they don't collect, we still wait for that day. Now money back don't come. And a grant not to trust, but no more forget for puts. Eh? Still yet. How many years? Not to this administration no more. All the previous administrations, they don't care. They don't fail we healthcare wise. They don't fail we. The other day, I did listen to Dr. Austin Demby way they talk. Eh? Wait, make a ask question ba. So if president appoints you for work, you're not able to talk without lavish praises on the president? Eh? You're not able to talk without doing? Or maybe some of we just different. Maybe. Because when Dr. Demby they talk, with all the praises the way they give the president, I'm like, Paddy, talk with you, can't talk. All this Yeliba business we deeper, and you're on call for right now. And with this money we don't come, they watch now safe. If not to Dr. Austin Demby in connection, make it get this position where get. It will be good for Sierra Leone if you're able to use in connection for benefit the healthcare system in the country. We need that. But if in connection can bring money come and the money will not able to show yield for them, then there is a problem right there. Eh? Problem, did he? So you just say, it's a part of the orientation for praise the president before you talk. Eh? Seriously. Everybody where they come. The previous administration do them now, they do them. Like, man, just get along with what you can for can talk. And it is show on a bad light. On a the academia there where they come. Una not a politician. Who then give una work for do. It make una look so bad. Una need to understand self. Because una fit to una. Una not a politician. Una left and they give the politician there. Just go to do your work, talk you talk, and move on. Okay. Health Ministry and CRS, we are the pauna. Because this one, it didn't on a table. It didn't on a table. Because then previous one day, you see what thing be happening where the Commission of Inquiry come out. Okay. With the watch now. The hospitals them all need reform. I'm not gonna say the one that we need the reform self. Eh? They all need reform. At least let we boast of one major hospital where we go able for knock chest for now each district headquarter town. Is that too hard? Eh? That it too hard? If you not take 10 just now, we then go begin show we waiting and spend the money per administration. Now go it's chunk of the money. Chunk of the money in administration. Waiting do. I hope say the minister no need new jeepo. We see them chiefs then. They say they don't get new jeepo, don't come for them. Yeah. Saloon and motoka. I mean, they know I make the road there. Eh? For make them give you new jeepo, make them grade your road so that at least, you people where they don't harvest done, then go able pull the harvest, come with them outside and go able get money for the harvest. Which one will better? Then give you the jeep so that you go able to ride na the rough road. And I don't even know who that tell Salomon say where you get SUV now for going a rough road. No. Because that mentality did not get us alone. Don't you make all say the well? How many government motocar will you see the last? No. Instead of fixing the road, then feel say na forget an SUV, na the good one. Hey, na the west to Saudi. Then kind road then they will get to. Na the provinces, then koto road then. Then call her off-road, not to even road. So they get off-road vehicles then for them road then they. Then they use and make spots. We na in our reality. Then SUV how they don't go buy soon. What they don't hand over again chief then. Let we see how long it go last them. Let me see how long it go last them. Then by Bosso, not this administration, no. I just talk about how they don't take winners alone. Even the previous one, they say the people, they can look the country first and see we road. Then they go make the boss. Don't still let the boss cannot go able claim Savage Street. This is not the way how they don't take we. So why we not go get proper healthcare system, healthcare facilities na each district headquarter town? But they boast say global funding na one of the partners then in Sierra Leone who don't spend the highest power healthcare system, $343 million from 2004 to date. Look where healthcare system ba. Yo, they talking back $343 million. Where? Who side them put her? Because me I want CDO. I they tell you, seriously, if they come with who side them put them, you go surprise for see say almost everything go by administration. Then go don't buy motoka. Then go don't buy motoka. How we observe? Even some of we will be there at the diaspora who left, who go get opportunity. Who go get opportunity in a salon. As then give we that opportunity day. Oh, Kawaka, what's in the first thing they buy not to motoka? We then be safe for fat COVID. What's in them first buy? Not to motoka? Okay. And say because of the bad roads. Me don't tell you say. Una fix the road instead of una they buy the SUV and we know the last. Now the road that need fixing. We all come out na the provinces. One way or the other, you should be linked. If you not linked, if you forget a village. If you see in Africa, you come out, one who say your ancestors. Who say they come out? Because you forget a village. Yeah? You forget a village. if you not get a village or a town, well, we know it will go to you. But seriously though, you know why you say una go buy motoka back with this one. But again, Seth, what they ready for buy motoka? Pas souci. Pas souci. Say the SUV don't come. This na for who that. Okay. Until we say na the other than Kinde in charge of the district headquarter town, the hospitals there. And let me say this. Let's say now, example, government go buy SUV for the head of Bo government hospital. It no go decline say I don't want them. Una return them back, una car with machine they now need. Una car with equipment them where we really need na the hospital. And see the he go gladly take her. He go gladly take and say, na me tell this. Who say must drive them big motorcar out there. One day way they, then they drive. How long pan that? I don't they waste money. The COVID-19 motorcar now, they are go ask for them. They don't even go far. Go ask for them. Last one they wouldn't be just buy. Oh, they say SUV or no SUV, na Prado or no Prado. Go ask for the right now. Because the roads are not good. Not to I be show pictures them of there. Ha. So if we not fix that, oh, 125 million. Do ya? Let we feel. $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. If you na make yourself by district headquarter town, Bendu Kawa say, he said the West, they no forget their money back. Then they give we, then we come back now the West to come buy SUV. We give them back the money. Hey, Papa God. Jago says na egocentric mentality. Na im boku na saloon. No, what will be the deal with the other team? That money, we didn't say the one bill, and the Ministry of Education. When they say they give them money, they say they want build state-of-the-art building. Hey, Papa God, don't pick in and they sit on a stone. Anyway, let's see how the love between the Ministry of Health and Sanitation and CRS go play on this one. Let's see how that love they go play. But we are hopeful. But me, I am hopeful. I just can't give up. For me, I just can't give up. Each one will come, I could be hopeful, then I'm disappointed, then I'm hopeful again. You know, see the new one right now? For say the equipment them or the machines them or the whatever don't come for the new airport expansion. So I mean, I'm still hopeful. I've been January, it not happen. Now in September, now they see video them. Okay. I will leave all thing here for tomorrow. Oh dear Papa government. Yeah? make we feel the effect of this money. Make the people in self go glad to say, we tell God thank you. But Leone no say just none of the money now I use for pay them no stem. Leone no say just no. Okay. Now they know your responsibility. When I left this money, facility, infrastructures, and then thing they. Majuba say Tripoli no go give up like we the Arsenal fans there. No, una na bubu. A pain na una like. My make I ask say that money will send. Why I talk now just now? Talk I say that money will send UNICEF for go buy for we. $6 million. We need for ask that first health minister, Professor Uri. Professor Uri. We need for ask him for money. Because it's Alex and I don't go by education. You don't forget say he been give United Nations. For go buy for we. $6 million. You know it. Hey. Salon. Kadepuya. What should they send you and all? Or go buy for we. Because something at the group will get good price. Something. Now, what's in that big market in Nigeria? So in Ireland, they go buy anything for yourself. How do you call and save? It's this market name. And you one big market in Nigeria, we're all man afraid. But anything, Alexef, na life you want to go there. He dey get sadly. It depends to on how we can if you walk. And you one big market in Nigeria, something that they go price first. I don't forget the name. Me. No, this is not a big market, you know. This is Nigeria. One market in Nigeria. Jago say big market. No, big markets are we on. I go beat myself if I no remember. Okay. Una self una no member. Ajegule. Na Ajekule or waiting? Is that Ajekule market? Is that the anyway? I've only seen Oshodi market. Well, one part of the market, and if na Ajekule now na Oshodi, now the UNICEF look don't go. So they try to find the real product. I make they don't see. They not carry tight. I beg ya. But we have for ask that first minister. We have for ask her for $6 million. With $6 million, we then go buy market with so they not carry it. But on a more serious note, one of Leone and I, Dr. Isatuka Kejalo, even though he don't take all two in jab them, he test positive for COVID-19. We know say a strong woman, and he go bounce back strong. We pray for speedy recovery. I think if he don't go live, when I don't see a day, we pray for speedy recovery for him. 22 region say he say the money they grow interest in foreign bank. Aba market. Aba? Wait, I remember. It's like we didn't say Oshodia things in we didn't say Ajekula fishing and we say Aba fishing and but I know it go play fine. But we there back tomorrow. Ode na una ano. want for see improvement at the healthcare system. That's all we ask for. And Jagos in a Calabar market. Yeah, you don't see the market in Boku. I mean, no bukai to products there. And because the market in Boku, you know, really no one for go to. Eh? Okay. We'll go there back tomorrow. Till we meet again. Triple C. Ta-ta.